Hi, y'all. I'm here to tell you why I've never believed in time, why I don't even think time is a real thing, why time is probably not a real thing. And yeah, welcome to my channel. My name is Sohaima. And yeah, so here we are today. Sorry about this weird angle. I had to feature my, what do you even want to call him? Loki, who's basically like the ultimate timekeeper now, right? I don't want to give things away if you haven't watched the show Loki, but I'm so inspired by the concept that show brings. Let's get into why I've personally I've never liked time. I don't have any like active clocks around my house. Like when people come over, they fix a clock on my microwave or my oven and I'm like, don't show me what time it is, okay? Like I absolutely look at the time when I really need to, when it has to do with like a social gathering or a work event that I have to be at. Yeah, obviously I'll look at the time because we all have to meet up at that place at the same time, whatever. But if you are locked in to your past and you feel like your future is so unattainable, like you're never really going to get what you really want out of life. Um So the only thing that really matters, which I hope we can get into today, is your mind movie and not actually time, okay? We do a lot of meditations on this channel to get into the 4D, to get into the 5D, and um I want to share this with you, which is not my graph, and hopefully it's somewhere here on the screen. Okay, but when we're in the material 3D, when we're in the material 3D, we are somebody, we are someone, we are something, we are somewhere, we are sometime, okay? But once we step into the 4D, the door to quantum, the door to the quantum as pure consciousness, we become nobody, no one, no thing, nowhere, no time. And that's what I try to do with y'all in our meditations, like kind of get into that nobody, no time, nowhere. That's where we enter the void and we can really tap into the quantum field, the 4D. But to really tap into the 5D where we are truly connected with everything and everyone through unconditional love is being everybody, everyone, everything, everywhere, every time. So once you're every time, does time really exist? And that's where your mind movie comes into play. What a mind movie is something you really come up with yourself. And you can start small, but it is a visualization of your highest self. And it is more of remembering the future instead, just like you remember the past, okay? We hear a song or we watch a movie and we remember certain things from our past. We are able to feel those exact same emotions we felt in the past. But as these incredible beings that we are, we can also remember the future. And once we tap into those emotions of our highest self and what we want in the future, we are actually becoming one with that because we are that. And we're just magnetizing that to ourselves because we are really that powerful. So I would just like to get into some concepts here. From a physics perspective, now this is actual science. In physics, time is often seen as a dimension similar to space. Einstein's theory of relativity suggests that time is not absolute but relative, meaning it can stretch or contract depending on speed and gravity, and that's from Einstein himself. The concept of time as an illusion arises from the idea that the past, present, and future all coexist simultaneously in what is often called the block universe model. In this view, linear time is a human construct used to perceive changes. Like humans literally came up with time. Oh my God. I will post the correct year somewhere here, but somewhere in time, somebody decided to take like a chunk out of like, I think October. Like in the 1500s, some ruler in the calendar, like there's weeks in October literally missing. And some of us are sometimes like so obsessed with a certain date. Like I used to be obsessed with July 17th, 2017, because it was 7/7/17. But it really means nothing because somebody 500 years ago deleted a bunch of days off the calendar. Time literally means nothing. Humans made up time. Humans made up all these constructs. And we like try to meet these goals of like by 2025, by 2026, by 2030, this and that. Why? What's so significant about that date or that year? Why not just let things happen as they happen? Okay. Hi, Loki. I love my little characters here. These are like literally my favorite characters of all time. Let me know if you can recognize all of them. Okay, so more to do with metaphysics and spirituality. Many metaphysical and spiritual teachings pose that time as we experience it is a creation of the human mind. In higher dimensions or realms of consciousness, time is non-linear and everything exists in the now. The idea aligns with the practices of visualization and manifestation, where focusing on a desired outcome in the present moment allows individuals to collapse timelines and bring their future selves into their current reality. Is what I was talking to you about, the mind movie of literally remembering your future, and that is what we do in our meditations. And every little thing you see around you, your computer, your phone, whatever, the room you're in was all in somebody's mind first. Like these 3D creations around you did not exist. They existed in somebody's mind first before they were in the 3D. What's the difference of that item showing up in real life versus being in someone's mind, in somebody's mind? Once it's created, it's like that time difference was never there. The object was always in that person's mind, and that object now exists. So, a few teachings from some of my favorite teachers that I follow and love his book, Becoming Superhuman, Dr. David Espinoza. His perspective, he is a researcher in quantum consciousness, and he often discusses the relationship between time and perception. He poses that time is a mental construct. Our brains process information in a way that creates the illusion of sequential events. That was the first point. Time is a mental construct. The second point, the quantum field transcends time. In quantum mechanics, particles can exist in multiple states simultaneously, demonstrating that the past and the future are accessible in the present, which is literally what I was talking about in your mind movie, always having your highest self come forth for you, no matter what you're doing right now. Today, your highest self, it is what is driving you. The third point, practical application. Dr. Espinoza emphasizes meditative practices and quantum focus techniques to help individuals tap into the timeless quantum field where possibilities exist beyond linear constraints. And another really, really good author and teacher that I like to follow is Neville Goddard. And Neville Goddard, who is a mystic and teacher, famously taught that number one, time is malleable by vividly imagining a desired reality and feeling it is as real. One can restructure the past or influence the future. This practice hinges on the belief that all possibilities exist in the eternal present. And that does take a lot of practice. Another point, living in the end, which has to do with the term mind movie that I keep talking about. Goddard advocates for living in the end, meaning you should feel and act as though your desired state is already real, collapsing the timeline between now and then. And the last point to do with Neville Goddard's teaching, but there's obviously a lot more. This is just for this little video here. Faith and imagination. Goddard viewed imagination as a bridge of incidents that brings timeless desires into material form. That's so deep. He viewed imagination as the bridge of incidents that brings timeless desires into material form. You can literally apply these things to your daily life. Mindlessness. No, mindfulness and presence. The idea that time doesn't exist encourages us to live in the now by focusing on the present moment. Distractions related to the past regrets or future anxieties dissolve. Practices like meditation, yoga, or simply being mindful in daily tasks help anchor this perspective. And yes, getting into the flow state, activities that fully absorb your attention, such as playing an instrument, coding, or painting, can create a state where you lose track of time entirely. The timeless state of flow aligns with the idea that we can access our most productive and creative selves when freed from time's constraint. And when I paint, literally 8-9 hours can go by and I don't feel it. I'm just in the flow state painting. And time does not exist when I'm painting or graphic designing or creating. Like, it just does not exist. And sometimes when I'm making this video and I go back and see the length and I'm like, was I talking for 40 minutes? Like, what? Yeah. And like within personal growth, manifestation techniques like from Neville Goddard, living as if your desired reality is already true can bring clarity and align your actions with your goals by vividly imagining and emotionally feeling the fulfillment of a dream in the present. You bypass the illusion of time and collapse the distance between your current state and desired outcome, which is literally your mind movie, which I could say start small, start with maybe how you want to look or how much money you want in your bank account, but build around your mind movie. How does it feel when you go into your dream home, your family, your career, maybe your dream day? Just keep that mind movie stuck in your mind and it will literally come into your life. And within personal growth, healing, and forgiveness, Dr. Espinoza and others emphasize that trauma or guilt tied to the past events can be transformed by reinterpreting those experiences in the present, revisiting memories through visualization or affirmations, shifts their emotional resonance, effectively altering your perception of what happened, which can be really, really healing for a lot of people, especially if they've been through trauma, but even like sad events in life or anything. You can literally alter your emotions connected to past events. And through creativity, timeless inspiration, many artists describe moments of inspiration where they feel disconnected from time. This aligns with metaphysical ideas that creativity taps into a universal field where everything already exists. Ideas, songs, and stories are downloaded from the infinite space. And I told you about when I'm painting, when I'm in the recording studio and I book a 2-hour session, that 2 hours feels like 20 minutes. There is no somebody somewhere give me back my time because I'm in there singing and I'm like, yeah, can we make this like a 12-hour session, please? Um Oh, I love this like concept also, which has to do with your mind movie. Use your future self as your muse. Your future self is your muse. Like imagine somebody that you admire coming up to you and be like, "You are so beautiful. You are so inspiring. You are so brilliant. You are my muse. I want to create because of you." But you're doing that to yourself and your future self. Using Neville Goddard's approach, creators can imagine their future successful selves and draw inspiration from that perspective. By becoming their ideal self in the present, they can bypass the linear process of waiting for growth and recognition. And yeah, that's like, I love that. Through relationships, timeless connections, when deeply connected to others through love, empathy, or shared experience, time seems to vanish. This feeling can signify alignment with the timeless unconditional love of the 5D state. As I always talk about here on this channel, and I know a lot of us have felt that when we're with our person or when we're with people we love, time literally flies by. And within relationships, healing bonds across time, techniques like Neville Goddard's revision or inner work focus on rewriting emotional patterns in relationships. For example, revisiting a painful interaction and reimagining it with love can shift its impact on the present. And yeah, also what I mentioned before, within science and innovation, there's quantum breakthroughs in quantum mechanics, phenomena like entanglement, where particles affect each other instantly over vast distances, challenge a linear time. Innovators inspired by this field might approach problems as if solutions already exist in the quantum field waiting to be realized. And this is literally creating a limitless potential. Viewing the future as a set of probabilities in the now can encourage thinking beyond traditional limits, fostering breakthroughs in technology, health, and human development. And another point of how we can view that time doesn't really matter is through the collective human experience. Transcending history, social movements often reflect a timeless ethos. Values like justice, equality, and love are not bound by specific eras. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Gandhi inspired others by calling on eternal truths that resonate across time. And also, we can experience this in group flow states, collective experiences like concerts and meditations or protests can create a sense of timelessness, uniting participants in the energy of the moment. And there are like some advice here that I have for you, like practical exercises to apply the concept. Meditation to access timelessness is number one. You can sit in silence and focus on the present moment. There is, daily time to reset. So you can pause during the day and ask yourself, if time didn't exist, how would I live differently right now? And a third way is creative visualization. Imagine yourself as a version of who has already achieved your goals. Of course, your mind movie. Write down or draw scenes from this perspective, feeling as though it's happening now. And right before we wrap up this mind boggling concept, the impacts of adopting a timeless perspective, you get three main takeaways. Number one is you get freedom. By releasing attachment to time, you cultivate freedom to explore possibilities without constraints. Empowerment. Living as though your ideal reality already exists fosters confidence and alignment. And deeper connection. You become more attuned to your intuition and inner knowing, which is often drowned out by the rush of time-focused thinking. So forget about time. You get freedom, you get empowerment, and you get a deeper connection to your highest self. And I hope this kind of convinced you that time is not real, that the past happened but doesn't exist. The future is literally you, who you are right now, and you are calling it into the 3D. Okay? Also, I guess this video was just like if you invite me somewhere and I'm a few minutes late, I don't believe in times. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I totally respect invitations, and I'll always try to be there on time. But when it comes to manifesting my future, when it comes to getting everything I need and everything I want, I know I already have it. I'm so excited about the future. I've manifested so many things, like the apartment I live in, my car. You know, I'm manifesting my changes in how I look, because that's already me. The creation is there. And I hope to see you in my next video, which already exists somewhere, even though I haven't made it right now in this present moment, but I know it exists because time is not a real thing. So go watch my next video and I will see you all on my channel. Bye.